Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the characters and their strengths in combat. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first character is Colton. Colton is the main character of Mercenary's Wish. He's a mercenary, and he mostly uses swords in combat. He's a very fast and strong unit, though kind of a glass cannon as he doesn't have a lot of defense. So you kind of want to be using him as get him in, get him out, but make sure he has healing or defensive characters around him to help him out a lot, as otherwise he might be a little screwed. The next character we have is Tide. So Tide's a mage, and a very strong one at that. Tide has very strong magic, and a lot of magical resistance as well, but aside from that, he's fairly standard, though he does have an incredibly low defense stat. So make sure that if he fights somebody, it is a magic user, not a physical user, as he will get hit very hard physically. One thing I do want to note for Tide is his special ability. His special ability called Archmage's Apprentice, which basically lets him move again depending on the turn. Usually like a 20% chance every 3 turns or so, which is a nice little addition, though you can't over rely on it. But yeah, if you want that little extra bit of move, despite him only being a mage, Tide's your guy. Next, we have Percy. Percy is a cavalier, and he's also the defensive wall. So yeah, Percy's a very bulky unit. Very high in defense, very high in HP. Though the problem that he struggles with, and kind of like in versus of Tide, he's very bad against magic. So make sure that Tide fights those magic units while Percy takes on the physical ones. And they're kind of a nice solid duo. The next character is Bolt. Bolt is an archer. He is quite competent as an archer, actually, as he is quite strong, quite fast, like Colton, but the problem with archers is they can only shoot at 2 range, so they have to be 2 blocks away. The other thing with Bolt is that he'll basically never miss a shot due to all the skills he has that boosts his accuracy. So you know for a fact he will most likely always hit his shots. So what you want to do for Bolt is let him get those final kill shots or set up kills for other units, as he's very quick about it, but he's not super strong. He's kind of an all-rounder, if anything. Next, we have Lily, who is the cleric of the group. She's relatively squishy, not much defense, but a lot of magical defense. My goodness, a lot of magical defense. She's also a very strong magic user. You mostly want to be keeping her in the backlines, though, as she's a healer, but she can fight if someone gets near her using something like a wind tome. But yeah, if she does have to fight something, though, make sure it's a magical unit, as once again, that high magical defense and good damage output with magic. Next, we have Ash. Ash is another mage that you get a bit later in the game, though he's a very different style to Tide. So Ash, unlike Tide, is more of a generalist compared to Tide's very much being a specialist, in which Ash is a lot more defensively strong than Tide, but he has a lot less magical resistance. So you kind of want to be using him as a general mage all-rounder, but he is a lot bulkier, so you can send him in against those sword units, you can send him in against those horse units, all that kind of stuff, and he can still take him on one-on-one, but mage versus mage, you probably want to send in Tide, not Ash. But both are solid choices, you can use both, one, none of them, it's a player's choice in that one. Next, we have Wallace. He is Percy's brother. He's also a cavalier, though unlike Percy, who's more defensive focus, Wallace is a lot more offensive focus, having a lot of strength and a fair bit of speed to boot. He also has a decent amount of skill, if I recall, which basically allows his skills to activate more. Same with his brother Percy. But yeah, if you want just a lot of offense, go with Wallace. And he's actually pretty good at tanking magical attacks as well. His resistance is quite good. Silas is the first ever thief you get in the game, and he's a similar build to Colton, but he focuses more on speed and skill, as those abilities very much will help him take down his foes. He's a very quick fighter, and he'll most likely get the first attack in basically every combat. He also has decent everything else, though he isn't the best when it comes to luck and also magical defense. So make sure he's getting those one-on-one fights, make sure he's getting that first punch, and he'll be a great asset for you. The last character I want to talk about for now is Teras. Teras is a dragon tamer. Yes, it's as cool as it sounds. Basically, he has a lot of range of movement, and he can go over any terrain possible. The thing with Teras is he's very bulky. He has probably one of the highest HP stats in the entire game, and it'll keep going. Defense, not as much, but he's very physically bulky with his HP stat and very strong with his strength stat. So kind of like a mix of Percy and Wallace in that aspect. Though, one thing you want to make sure he avoids is magic. He hates magic. Very bad magical resistance. So make sure when he's fighting, it's a clean sword versus axe or what have you. Should make sure he stays away from mages, as that is a bad time for Teras. Anyways, playtesting is going well, as you see here. I'm already on, I believe, chapter 7 out of the 25 in the game or so. So it's going pretty quick, and it will probably speed up very soon. Anyways, that's about it for this devlog. I'm on fire. See ya.